Yang deh set deh. Ini awal pihak ni, cik orang buat. Cik tu nak siapa?
Sorry.
Semangat! Jangan selat! Selama! Set! Semangat! Baja! Set! Shriman! Semangat पर एक UVSI, एक बिगदार, ada rank baru. बराबर 14 हाजिर है श्रीमान. Semangat! Bagal! Set! Semangat! Sentri Karara! Baki! Line! Set!
All the
The area is 13.6 acres. It's quite big. 13.6 acres. Most of the building are like this.
Can you see from the other side? Oh, then you can see.
Yeah, sir.
Then we can sit down. Let's take a walk because the sun is.
It's good. That's why I told you have to approach it.
Oh, this is also the land.
Yeah, this is also a building.
And this is in the middle of this land is town.
Yeah, yes. You can have a look from here.
That side, okay.
This is the best view.
This is take us if somewhere we can get a full view. Yeah.
Sampai terus only.
Yeah. Or we can take a drone. Oh, this side also.
Yeah. Yes.
All this also, no?
Yeah.
But these are all quarters. But then that can be again rearranged and made into nice RCC.
Will be in the same building, sir.
Yeah, exactly. Facilities, everything can be put up.
Not part of the town.
Absolutely. Movement from any all angles. And you must have a general map, no?
So it ends that side.
That's it also.
Yeah. Behind those quarters.
And just 2 offices.
This 4 office here, PUD building, SDO, mechanical, and then this Jowai South and Jowai Central.
The rest we can use for the building.
All others are we have to even accept that building is already RCC.
Yeah.
Otherwise, all we can. Because you see, even this quarter also we can put into flat.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it gives us more space.
More facilities for people also. Exciting. Going only 45 minutes, coming back 45 minutes. The chair of this program, the left program, why did you that's why this you can have the program here first and then go there. So we don't have to come back. Okay. And then we can come around to can have a around the program and all. But then too late, no? Yeah. No, and the main thing is the concept is that everything should be under one roof. The administration under one roof, absolutely. So you can call it maybe you can call it the magazine, you can call it this day, whatever you want. So the idea is that. Okay. All right. In the car on the seat, no? can see the. Yeah.
Done. Oh, you're having tea? Okay, okay. You have tea. Here is okay, right?
My lord. My lord. Two glass. Two glass.
Yeah, we'll get it.
Không sao được.
Done? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Ready?
Yeah.
Ready? Okay. A very good evening to everyone. I have come for a visit along with our Honorable Home Minister, Education Minister, Shri Lakman Rambui, and along with the local MLA of Jowai, Ma Wailad. And our main purpose of visit here today is to survey and see the location for a district secretariat or mini secretariat here in the district of Jowai, West Chente Hills. As you are aware that it has been the endeavor of the MDA government to ensure that the overall governance in the state improves, to ensure that delivery of services to the people and the citizens of the state is made as efficiently and in a better manner as possible. A number of steps in this regards have been taken by us in the past, including in the recent assembly. You must be aware that we have come out with the act for ensuring that the services, government services to the people is given at a specific period of time. So all these aspects are to ensure that overall governance improves. And the concept of the mini secretariat or a district secretariat is in the same line. By having a district or a mini secretariat, our endeavor is to ensure that the citizens of the district and of Jowai town will have to come only to one location for all the different services that they might need. So it will be all the departments under one roof. We strongly feel that this particular decision for Tura town as well as for Jowai town will go a long way in improving the overall governance in the district and the delivery of the services at the grassroots level. The location that we have just come and surveyed looks like one of the best locations, being in the heart of the town and having sufficient space, and also being connected circularly by a road, by different roads in fact, to this particular piece of land. So therefore this seems to be a very appropriate location, and we will now start the work at the earliest to ensure that this project is initiated and we are able to see this project complete at the earliest. So this has been the primary objective of coming here today. Apart from this, as you're aware, that the government has taken steps to ensure that development projects take place in other towns of the city, of the state, like Tura and Jowai and Nongstoin, because most of these towns have been neglected in the past. For Jowai and for Tura, you are aware that we have considered to improve the overall facilities in the town by bringing it under the Smart Town project. Here, we will have multiple aspects to the project. The first will be the internal road connectivity within Tura town and Jowai town. So the project is to ensure that the connectivities and the overall standard of the roads goes up. So work for that has already started, and all the estimates are being prepared for that. Number two, we also want to give a facelift to Tura town and Jowai town. Hence, a Tura and a Jowai town beautification project has also been conceptualized, which is very, very critical for any growing town. As of now, we have finalized for Jowai town and for Tura town.
Safety, sir. CCTV camera also.
Yes, yeah. So, sorry, there's another aspect which our MLA just has been brought to my notice, which is the area of safety, which is the implementation of CCTV cameras. Also, CCTV cameras, and the cameras for better security, the overall infrastructure institutions in general. So, with that in mind, in the last 2-3 weeks, we have already laid the foundation stone for Bakmara College and for Sora College, and today we have laid the foundation stone for the Rambai Secondary School. And I'm also happy to inform you that part of the mission also includes the Jowai Higher Secondary Boys School, which will also be upgraded in terms of its building infrastructure. The estimates are being prepared. To any further questions?
Yeah, sure. As you said that today's visit in Jowai is to survey for the land survey for the construction of the mini secretariat. So in the near future, what would be the fate of the other offices, government offices, which includes the Deputy Commissioner's office and the other departments in Jowai town?
You see, the offices that are meant to be here in Jowai town, like the Deputy Commissioner's office and the other offices that provide services to the people around Jowai town and in the district. Obviously, those offices will remain. Most of them will remain, and they will be all under one roof. So the idea is really not to get rid of any office or anything like that. The idea is to actually bring everything together under one roof, and that will be the objective. And we will ensure that the overall infrastructure also is better. So that is what's going to happen. So DC office also will come under this particular infrastructure out here. And I think it's appropriate because the current DC office is very congested and is not being able to have the necessary space to provide proper service to the people. So I think it will be a blessing for the people of Jowai once the DC office also comes here.
Yeah, my question is with regards to the other departmental offices like the agriculture, water resource, what will be their fate in the future once all of these offices are shifted to this mini secretariat?
Yeah, I think it's just a question of the building only. So that building and the space that they are occupying now, that I think the respective departments and the respective agencies will take the decision on what has to be done. But I think the overall staff and the overall system in the office will simply be the same. It's just a question of coming in a big building which will be able to, as I said, provide the services to the people in a much better manner. And those lands and assets that are there with that particular department, I think the department and the concerned minister and the officials will decide on how they should use that office in the future.
So tentatively, when do we expect the construction to start?
Well, we have just taken the decision, and therefore we want to move it very fast because we feel that these are two very important projects, both for Tura and for Jowai. So we will do it at the earliest.
Okay, so what is your say on Yamusyang, which is pending till date?
Yeah, I think you must have seen that we have already moved on the project. In fact, the government has decided that even though there is some complication that is there with the donor ministry because of certain scope of work going down and certain estimates changing, which created a bit of confusion with the government of India. It led to delay in the project. Therefore, the state government had decided when we had the cabinet in Jowai that we will fund the project till the time we get clarity from government of India on the funding pattern and whether they will continue to fund the Yamusia shopping complex. So in line with the decision which we took in the cabinet, we have already released 70 lakhs for the start of the work, and I think that should be happening anytime. And we have also further smoothened out the overall process in which the money and the funds will flow from the state government. Therefore, the process is very much online, and I think in a couple of weeks maybe the work will actually physically start. The funds have already reached the department concerned, and we will continue to now fund it and see that in a phase-wise manner we are able to complete this project, because it's a big project and it was not part of the state's budget, but still keep budget in the sense that it was not part of the state's direct state's expenditure. It was from the central government. So therefore, even though the financial challenges will be there, the commitment is there from our side to ensure that this project on a phase-wise manner, we will see that it is completed.
So why do we need a mini secretariat or district secretariat? Since our area also it's very small. Say Jowai to Shillong, it's not too far. Why do we need a mini secretariat?
It's not about Jowai to Shillong. I think it's not going to be about the services in Shillong that you're talking about. We're talking about services within the overall district. So when a person requires the services within a district, it is much easier, and the efficiency of the working system improves when the concerned departments are very much within the vicinity. A lot of people, for example, coming here would require NOCs from multiple departments. So instead of them having to go from one office and waiting in line and going to another office and waiting in line and going to a third office and waiting in line out there, it would be much more easier and much more efficient when all these offices would be under one roof. So hopefully, as time moves forward, we will be able to then make it easier for the citizen to come in and maybe have a single window system where the person will just have to apply at one point, and the departments will internally then move the processes being under the same roof and be able to make it much easier for the citizen to get the ultimate services which might require the intervention of many departments. So that's really what the long-term plan is. So we see, like for example, now it comes to, just to give you a small example, when it comes to getting different permissions for having the crushers and different kind of boulders and all these things, mines. People have to apply to PWD, have to forest department, have to apply to mining department, then have to apply to the pollution board. And so therefore, sometimes in a place like Garo Hills, it happened that the people had to wait for 3 years, 4 years, and even after that, they did not get the permissions required. Now just imagine if the person just had to put in the papers at one location, and then internally within the mini secretariat or the district secretariat, the system, when the files would move, so that the people would then have to just simply come after 1 month and take the documents and go away. So that is really what the long-term goal is, because it is not about the physical infrastructure alone. It's about the internal soft part also, which is the system also has to be integrated. So we are starting with the system where we're going to integrate the offices, and then we will go with the integration of the system also. So that's really what the long-term goal is, and that's why we feel that it will help deliver more efficient services to the people in the long run.
Yes, yesterday you have announced for this. Once you have announced this mini secretariat in 2 districts, people are questioning about the basic amenities. We in Jowai, we don't have proper water supply, proper road, proper healthcare services, and even proper education also, which people from the urban have to migrate to Shillong and to other states.
Yeah.
What is your say on that?
Yeah, I think there is no doubt about the fact that the state requires a lot of things to happen, and the district also requires a lot of things to happen. And these are challenges that the state has faced since the inception of the state. So it's not that a government will come in and will be able to resolve every single issue in one go, but then the process has started, and you will see that the investments are being made in the right areas. If you look at the different water problems that you're saying, we have in fact invested huge in water connection throughout the state. The water connection for just coming back from Rambai, we have invested in entire the Rambai. The pipes had been lying for 20 years, 15 years out there without any work being done. As soon as the government came in, we realized that these are investments that have been made and are lying unutilized. Let us start activating it. We searched for funds, we pumped in money, and the work for the Rambai project started. Like that, for example, the Nongstoin water supply project. We have moved in that area also. Tura water supply also we have moved. In Jowai also significant work is being done. But of course, as I said, everything cannot be changed in one day. So that's like you said about water supply. Similarly, if you look at education, I think in the last 2.5 years, the maximum amount of reforms have taken place in education in terms of the policies that we have put in. And now in this year itself, you will see that the maximum amount of infrastructural investment will be made in education like never before. So the colleges which we provincialized in 2008, no building infrastructure was created. For 12 years, these colleges functioned without buildings. When we came in now, we have sanctioned 36 crores for these buildings, for the new buildings for these colleges. We have over 2,500 LP schools in our state, and 70% of these schools don't have buildings. We made up my mind as soon as we came in that we're going to start making LP schools. We have started with extension of building extension for almost about 200 to 300 LP schools already finished in the past 2 years. We're going to make provisions for 200 plus schools with a budget of 100 crores this year and another 100 crores next year and 100 crores the year after that. So we'll be seeing about 600 to 700 LP schools getting brand new buildings in the state out here. So like this, you're seeing that there is huge investment and a lot of economic changes taking place in the grassroots level throughout the state. So can we change everything in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years? Maybe not. But I think you clearly see that we are moving in a very positive direction, and a lot of investment has already gone in, and more investment will be made in the state. For the first time, if you look in the state, we have got externally aided projects which were never there before in this large scale. We are most probably the highest number of EAPs has been given to Meghalaya state, 13 in number, whereas other states, some of them are at 0. These have brought in amounts close to almost 5,000 crores that are being invested in different departments, different sectors like water, conservation, like road connectivity to the World Bank project, like the tourism EAP from the New Development Bank, like the Meghalaya project that's going on. And so forth. There are many EAP projects going on. So yes, there are challenges, and everything cannot be resolved in a year or 2 years time, or even 5 years time, but significant improvement is taking place, and a huge amount of investment is taking place, and a lot of changes can be seen in most of these sectors in the state.
People are questioning why we have so many pending projects, and say MDA is in a hurry to build the Secretariat.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of pending projects that are there, which of course sadly has been there because of many past governments also, which brought in projects which were not able to complete. But let me tell you that we have taken upon ourselves to ensure that we will be able to improve the overall projects also. I'll just give example. Like there were these residential schools that were started by the last government, and they invested some 20-30 crores, and then the projects just came to a halt because there was no fund. But then we took up those projects again, and now you'll be happy to know that we'll be sanctioning close to 25 crores to ensure that those schools, at least the building part, not the residential part, but those buildings of the schools will be completed. So you're right, there are a lot of pending projects. Rambai water supply scheme, which I talked about just a few minutes back, there was projects that were just lying like this, but we ensured that those projects which have achieved a certain level of physical completion are just investments made but not being utilized properly. So we decided we're going to pick them up. So we are doing, it's not that we are not doing those projects, we are doing those also, but at the same time we feel very strongly that there has to be a complete change in the way we do our governance. We feel that I got a call just about a month back, somebody telling me that he had to wait for 5 months and he still hasn't got his caste certificate. I don't think that's the governance, and that's the delivery of services. So that's why we came up with this act to ensure that the services are delivered within a specific time period. This mini secretariat and this district secretariat will help us make that even better. the way we'll be able to deliver the service will be much faster, and it's being done in the interest of overall governance. So yes, it's a project that's very important, and I think people will see the difference when it comes and how it will improve the overall services and the delivery of services to the grassroots people.
Two more questions. First thing is regarding the mini secretariat. You had you said that it will be helping the public, where all the offices will be under one roof, and also it contradicts the shifting of this particular office from Jowai to Champong. Some contractors, they have claimed that it will be cumbersome for them to travel to Champong and then back to Jowai, Treasury's office, back to Champong. So, clarification on that?
Yeah, I think we have to understand that overall functioning also has to be from the practical point of view. Now, if you look at the overall jurisdiction of this particular division, it covers the jurisdiction of Raliang constituency and of Makayo constituency. So not even 1 kilometer comes in the area of Jowai and other constituencies. So it is being done from a very practical point of view. The engineers need to be closer to the place where the work is going on. So it is done from that point of view. And the point is that every section of the state needs to see some growth. So I think Champong also deserves growth. So therefore, when the office and the jurisdiction of this division is over Champong, that is Raliang area, and Mokayo, I think it is a logical decision to shift it in the sense that the jurisdiction and the overall monitoring of the projects will be much better out there. And you will also see that the economic growth and the development will go to rural areas of Gente Hills also, which I think is absolutely necessary. So it's really a balancing act that we're trying to do. We're trying to balance the system and growth so that everything is not in the sense that the overall development aspect is not pushed out here alone, but the jurisdiction of the offices which are meant for that location are in that location, so that engineers can do better work, can monitor the roads in a better manner, can go down to the grassroots level and ensure that the overall quality of the roads is good. So I think it's being done from that aspect. And once we see this officer shift, there will be economic impact in those areas also. And when we see the Secretariat and the Mini Secretariat coming here, it'll have economic impact here also. So it's really trying to ensure that there is a balanced approach to everything and there's a balanced growth throughout the region, throughout the district.
Okay, sir. Last question. Every now and then we hear about the border talks, border dispute between Meghalaya and Assam. And that from time to time, various programs, the ministers, MLAs have been saying that there will be a meeting between the two CMs. So when are we expecting this particular meeting to be held, and what are your hopes?
Yeah, we in fact had, I had already written to the Honorable Chief Minister of Assam in the month of March, April, I can't remember the exact date of this year, seeking for a meeting, and after, of course, verbal conversation and confirmation from him. And we were both very much prepared to meet, but sadly we had the COVID-19 coronavirus struck, and therefore that meeting could not take place. Before that also, there had been many telephonic conversations that both of us have had because there were different issues that were coming up. And we had in fact verbally also decided that we'll meet up in the month of September. But I can't recall right now why. That was last year, why we couldn't meet. And then after that, we followed it up in March to meet up around April. But then, as I said, COVID struck that time. So that's the reason why we were not able to meet. But in spite of that, the chief secretaries have met once in the past, recently, and the deputy commissioners and the chief secretaries are in constant touch with each other whenever any kind of situation that is there in the border areas, whichever part it may be, has happened. So we have been trying, but because of circumstances, we were not able to meet.
Sir, one last question. There are two roads in the border which have been closed from PMGSY. One is under Natiang constituency and another one is under Mogyao constituency in Kanduli area. What is your say on that? Because
closed means what?
It was totally stopped.
Stop means stopped, what?
Yes.
Stop means?
The work has been cancelled.
The work has been stopped.
Yes.
I'm not aware of the details of this project, but I think
one is from Kanduli, from Ritiang Santhao to Mokairam, and the other one is from to connect the Kanduli to Barto, Mogayao, and Jerikandang area.
Yeah. So this is a challenge that the state has faced for a very long time. We have had many incidences where the work from Assam side would start, and then Meghalaya would complain, and Meghalaya would say the work should stop. sometimes then from Assam side, the Meghalaya side work would start, and then Assam would complain, and then say Assam say we should stop. So this kind of a situation has been happening in many locations, and this has been one of the reasons why we have had different instances and situations where there have been some kind of inconvenience that has been caused in those locations, and some kind of aggression also has come out. So this has been there in the past. So we have then further asked the deputy commissioners then to talk, because in the last protocols that was set between the chief ministers was to ensure that the development should not be affected, and then there should be status quo maintained, and any kind of discussion should take place between the deputy commissioners to resolve any kind of misunderstanding. But obviously, being a complicated situation, the misunderstandings are there. So therefore, when Assam side also works, there's complaint from Meghalaya sometimes, and when Meghalaya also works, there is complaint from Assam side also sometimes. So these instances have been happening, but time and again we have tried to resolve it. In some cases we were able to get the parties together and resolve it. In some cases it's taking more time. So that's the situation. Not be able to tell you specifically what's the stand of this particular road that you're talking about, because I don't have the information with me right now. But in general, that's the situation that we face at the border. Thank you.
You know?